As with evolution, it's not the biggest, best and brightest that will survive, but those that can adjust and adapt the quickest. And it's the first 2 to 3 months that are critical. If the chasm is too wide, if the coping skills aren't there, then the change can be too much. And especially for men, it's extremely difficult. Two things though help support the person adapt and adjust to living in a dementia unit, and that is they really need to have the direction orientation to find their room, difficult because orientation is often lost with dementia, and they need to have a room, a quiet respite space like a men's shed where they can relax, unwind and organise themselves. So a comfortable room, direction orientation, and walking outside. That's really important for men that are fit and strong and physical to get that exercise. Now, there was one dementia resident that I worked with at a dementia unit, and he was a lovely man. He was fit, strong, youngish, say late 60s. He hiked everywhere. He'd been a park ranger. He loved the outdoors, and he used to spend all his time outside. Now, when he came to the dementia unit, it was just so dreadful for him because he didn't have any coping skills to manage. He was quite, an introverted man, solo, and he didn't communicate that well with others. He was intelligent, but he just wasn't well versed in communication. He'd been out in the great mountains and outdoors of New Zealand his whole life. He did have one tramping partner, a man he used to tramp with a lot, and he didn't come to visit. It was only his sister that visited 10 minutes before each meal, say at night, before dinner, a few times a week. But it was no help because it was getting dark and she didn't take him out for a walk. What he needed was exercise, to get outside, to see the sunshine, fresh air, at least in the gardens of the village. But she didn't take him out to walk, and he was totally confined. So the chasm from spending his whole life outside in the mountains to being in one small constricted dementia unit was just too much. And his tramping colleague found it too much to be able to take. He couldn't take it, seeing his friend in such a state. So because of that, his friend deteriorated markedly. He just could not manage the change. He didn't have any skills, equipment, coping mechanisms or support to be able to manage. So this was a really sad case. And it does happen, unfortunately, in dementia units, but there are processes that can be put in place to support people, especially the men that are fit, active and physical. Coming into a dementia unit, they really do absolutely need at least one good walk a day. They've been used to doing 10, 20 kilometres of walking a day. Then they come into a unit, they don't even get outside for weeks on end. So a good walk every day and a good, comfortable, warm room they can retreat to, and lots of practice runs to get the orientation going, to be able to find their room, and clear and identifiable door with big letters, name and number, so they know that it's theirs when they arrive, maybe an identifiable photo. So these are the things that need to be put in place, because otherwise it's just far too difficult. I mean, in a dementia unit anyway, it's mainly elderly women with Alzheimer's. And if you're a younger man and you've never dealt much with women, especially aging women with memory loss, you can imagine. So support for these men, it's so important. It's not all right them being in this situation without support and friendship. Now, if the family can't muster up someone to take the person out for a walk, and it really needs to be made clear, these men, if friends or family don't rally around, or their colleagues or their tramping colleagues or their skiing colleagues or Rotary or Lions or someone, if they don't rally around to take these men out for walks, they will not be taken out. Now, the management may well say on entry into the unit, oh yes, staff can take them out for a walk and we can do that. There is never enough time to take dementia residents out for a walk. I mean, there's never enough time to even attend to the cares half the time, everyone's so flat out, 1 carer to 8 residents, and the activities coordinator, 1 coordinator to 30 people. It's a big job in itself as well. So it is the relative's responsibility to take the person out for a walk. And whether that's mentioned to you or not on admission, take note that this is indeed the case. And those men in the unit that don't get this opportunity to get out and walk, they cannot progress from there. Men that are taken out walking regularly actually do well. They can do well, because at least they're given the chance to exercise and, you know, get their endorphins going and their musculature going and their anxiety and aggression down, and etc., you know, with exercising each day, and with that comfort, support and attendance from their relative, they can do well. Even if they get really depressed and down, with the exercise, support from relatives, good comfortable room, a good warm room, they can actually do, you know, progress forward with a lot of effort on their part, mind you. I mean, none of this is easy, but without support, you know, it really is impossible. So I've written about these topics, Residents' Voice, Residents' Rise, on Amazon, everything in the description below. Good read. So please subscribe. Thank you for your viewing and support. Thanks.